Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking you on a journey of epic highs and epic lows. So pause the video, go grab your popcorn, and then sit back down and get ready. Our journey begins in November of 2022. It was a wild time. I was blonde, I still lived in a place with seasons and practically no bugs, and my parents invited me, my sister, my husband, and his sister to an ABBA revival concert, which of course we said yes, and then of course we wanted to dress up. Oh hey, didn't see you there. Just kidding, I did. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make skinny jeans into flare Mamma Mia pants. In my head I was envisioning this beautiful Mamma Mia, here we go again, Donna pants. And in reality, I got this due to the haste of my sewing. So quite disappointing, not really living up to my expectations. So naturally, I did not touch them for 2 years. Was it really 2 years? No, it really actually was 2 years. That's so embarrassing. This brings us to 2024 in our story. The Driver era announced a tour and they were actually coming to a city by us, so of course we had to buy tickets. I started to think about what I'd want to wear to the concert, but I didn't have any super concrete ideas, so I kind of just put a pin in it and figured I'd get back to it. And then 6 months passed. We're now in March of 2025 and the concert is 2 weeks away, and I was like, if I really want to sew something, I probably need to do it now. But then I saw my ABBA pants sitting in the corner and I thought, it's finally time. The good thing about waiting so long to start on the jeans was that I low-key started to become a jean hoarder because denim fabric is super expensive if you actually go out and buy it. So friends, family, and even just acquaintances who learned that I was collecting denim for various sewing projects started giving me their jeans instead of donating them. So I had a very large selection of colors to choose from to form the ruffles. But first, I had to unpick the existing ugly ruffles to get the jeans back to their base state. This was of course annoying and tedious, but it had to be done. And you can see the base pants were in fact 2 pairs of pants that I sewed together so that the bottom is flare jeans and the top is skinny jeans. We have our pile of jeans. We also have our actual jeans that we will be sewing the ruffles onto, or I guess back onto. And, oops, another pair. We also have all of the existing ruffles that we took apart and made made bigger so that they'd be more gathered and extra ruffly. Based on how these were before, they covered this whole part technically speaking, but there wasn't a lot of overlap and it was very weird with the sizing as you saw before. I think honestly we're gonna probably need to do 6 ruffles instead of 3 with the shortened length of these. But we're gonna measure right now and figure out which denim colors match up the best, because I do think it would still be nice to do kind of like the light to dark thing that I had before. Honestly, determining which jeans to use was way more difficult than I thought it would be because I forgot how most jeans aren't the same color all over. So it was kind of like, oh, it looks great from the front, but it kind of loses its gradient from the side. I did my best with the jeans I had. Once I decided on the jeans I would use for each ruffle, and yes, you heard me right, it took 1 pair of jeans per ruffle. I measured how long they should be, unpicked the denim panels of the jeans, and cut them into rectangles, then trimmed and cut those rectangles in half to create the ruffle panels. Sounds complicated, but it really wasn't. If I was doing this again, I would probably just trim off the edges of the jeans instead of unpicking them because it really does take forever, but unpicking also gives you a nice frayed edge, so it's a toss-up really. Okay, so we have all of our little piles cut out. They're trimmed to the right length-ish. Now we just have to sew all the panels together to make the circles that will turn into the ruffles. And then I'm gonna try this technique that my mom sent me for gathering that uses dental floss. So we'll see how that goes. As is so clearly shown here, I sewed each rectangle together to form a circle, and then I sewed along the bottom of each circle to stop the ruffles from fraying too much. Okay, so we're gonna try this dental floss method. You set it to a zigzag stitch, and then you put the dental floss in the middle and zigzag over top of it, so. So it just looks like that. And then basically when we pull it, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Look at how easy that is. Wow. I can't even take credit for this because it's like from a reel that my mom found, so I don't even know who came up with this, but this is literally life-changing. Wow. Obviously, that is not the size of my legs, so that's definitely gathered too much, but it's pretty awesome. As I finished sewing the floss into the ruffles, I switched to a contrasting thread color, mostly because I was running out of thread and Joann was pretty much cleaned out since it was about to close. So sad. But I realized later it helps to sew the floss on with a contrasting thread because you're gonna want to remove that thread later, and it's a lot easier to remove when it doesn't blend into the jeans. Okay, so I've laid out all the ruffles and it looks so good. I feel like now that they're all together and gathered, it really does look like a very nice ombre. And this is actually all but one because I did run out of dental floss. So what we're gonna do now, I think, is just try pinning these on and sewing them, and I'm gonna do one leg at a time because I feel like there may have to be some trial and error. When we sew these on, it'll be like you flip it upside down basically so that this is real bad camera work. Flip it upside down so that you're sewing here to this so that it flips over and that part is hidden, and then that will also like push the ruffle out more. I'm just a little bit worried about how short this one is, but it'll be an adventure, so let's see how it goes. As I started to pin that first ruffle, I did end up loosening the gather quite a bit, but the dental floss worked better than I ever could have imagined. It was so nice. So I'm thinking now that the first ruffle is on, instead of pinning them all in place, I think I'm gonna have to sew one ruffle at a time because I think it's gonna be like a lot of having to push the fabric around and worry about all the pins and everything. And I also realized that I'm hungry, so we're gonna go eat some lunch first and then maybe get back to this. Not maybe. We will get back to this. It's just a matter of when. What the freak? Started to load the dishwasher. And I'm supposed to be making lunch, but just do the dishwasher and then do lunch. And oh, the handle broke on our cup measuring thingy. Stupid. Okay, so we have our little spaghetti squash salad-y sort of pasta-y thingy, some cucumbers, a little vitamin water, which I usually only drink half, so that's why that's left over from yesterday. And then a little treat with some milk to dunk it in, so it's gonna be yummers. Editing Andrea here. This is a very long-winded, boring explanation of me trying to decide, should I sew the ruffles above my knee or below my knee? So here you'll see I'm trying on the pants, I'm noodling, I'm stabbing myself with pins multiple times, and ultimately I decided to just go with starting the ruffles under the knee. Okay, look, I know it's messy. Part of the creative process. This is all the blue I have left, which it should be enough to do all the jeans, but I think for the bobbin I'm just gonna use gray, which is fine because honestly you probably won't be able to see any of this thread, and I mean jeans are woven with like blue and white, so theoretically it's fine. There is now a thread shortage, not actually, but I don't have time to order some online and wait for it to get here because I have to get this project done now. And like all the thread was cleaned out when we went to Joann. I mean, I also did not look that closely, but I'm assuming it was pretty cleaned out. I think we're gonna take this. Okay, because this is a very, oh, I shouldn't have bunched this yet. Okay. Gonna have to do a lot of bunching, and when you're sewing something like this, you don't want it to like drag itself off the edge, so like try and put the other fabric like on your lap or something so that it doesn't pull it off, and then we're gonna just have to scrunch this as much as possible. Start wherever it's least visible because if you make a mistake at the beginning, you can't tell. These are pretty thick jeans, I would say. So you don't want to have a bajillion layers that you're trying to sew through, which means I'm gonna try not to line the two seams up because I'm already gonna have to sew through a lot. And normally, you know, you want to backstitch, but since we're sewing in a circle, you can just backstitch at the end once you have finished your circle. So we're just gonna do that. We're gonna make sure it's not on zigzag, and we're gonna hope that the needle doesn't break. I'm not afraid to sew over needles. I think that's probably not the best practice, but I don't care. I feel like if you take them out before, then sometimes the fabric doesn't stay in its place, so then what is even the point? And sometimes when the fabric's really thick, you have to kind of like shove it through. And honestly, don't worry if you sew over the floss, because I've already seen this, like I did catch it a couple times and it like just rips apart, so it will be fine. Just know if you're working with pins, you will stab yourself. It's inevitable. We're almost there. I need to try and conserve the thread. Okay, well this is interesting. Could be good or bad. I did not think about how it's got this blue from the hem. I haven't actually like looked up a video, but I'm assuming they put the pants together and, you know, then they would like acid wash them. So whatever's on the inside seam is not getting that bleach. So when you unpick the seams, it's a different color. I really kind of was supposed to sew it up a little higher so that we weren't seeing that line. But at the same time, could be kind of fun. I feel like probably though, once I put it on, I'm gonna hate it. So why don't I just go over it again instead of doing that? I'm like sweating. I don't know why. Sewing makes me hot, which is hilarious because you're just sitting in a chair. Okay, back on she goes. And honestly, this is gonna be boring for you. So let me just time-lapse this bad boy out. Yeah. I very much regretted continuing to sew on the ruffles. Should have tried them on again after sewing on the first ruffle. I started sewing the ruffles on and then I realized a lot of the inspo pictures, the ruffles are sewn with the raw edge actually out. I don't know why I didn't just do that. I think maybe because I thought it would look bad because the raw edge has like the dark blue on it. But the thing is that I'm realizing these ruffles, they stick straight out when they're sewn on like that, and I honestly don't think that washing them is gonna fix that. Like seriously, they literally are shooting straight out, and so I think I would have to tack them down in place, which is gonna be annoying. So I think it would be easier to literally just sew them on with the raw edge. Also be easier to pin and easier to get it onto the sewing machine. So I think that's what I'm gonna do from now on, which means I have to unpick the first two ruffles that I sewed on, but luckily we only got that far. And also I was able to get some more thread. There, I kid you not, at Joann there was literally one thing of blue thread, and it's not regular all-purpose, it's cotton, so hopefully that will work with the jeans. But anyways, I have backup yarn in case I run out. Yarn? Backup thread. Unpicking the ruffles was definitely an unfortunate setback because, as you know, I did not have spare time to waste if I wanted these done before the concert. So naturally, I took a brief break to work out. And then I had to re-sew floss into the unpicked ruffles so I could regather and repin the ruffles onto the pants. Good times. Okay, sorry, I have to go like so far away so that you can see all of me in the frame. But you guys, I'm so excited. This looks so good. I was really worried about it and like I knew it was gonna be better if I unpicked it, but this looks way better. So good plan. I'm excited to see what all the rest of the ruffles look like. I also realized that not a great idea to put lipstick on when you're pinning stuff, because apparently I put the pins in my mouth all the time and it's just like getting all over everything. But I'm going to the movies tonight, so like I wanted to look cute. I sewed the first two ruffles on and then was in desperate need of a break. Thankfully, we had plans to see a movie. Can you guess what we saw? My sister's a big fan, so it was big news. After Sonic 3, I was clearly inspired because I realized I could just put the pants on Anakin to pin the ruffles and make sure they were overlapping. I then did a lot of pinning and sewing. I just broke my needle. You can see. Yeah. But this is the first one I've broken, so that's pretty impressive, honestly. So before I wash these, because washing will help with the frayed edges, I'm just kind of going through and pulling some of these threads out. If you tug on them, they should come off. Also, can you see all that dust? I feel like I am just inhaling denim dust. Basically, you want to like pull, this will not focus, pull out the cross fibers so that this white stuff comes out, and I should probably put a mask on because all the like extra denim fluff just popping out. Anyways, we're doing that and we're unpicking, well, pulling out the floss and then unpicking the zigzag stitch that was for the gathering so that that's not in there, and then we'll wash it and it'll be all nice and fluffy. You don't want to pull the threads out past the line where you sewed because this line is meant to stop it from fraying further, so it's okay to stop pulling out the threads even like, I don't know, when you get to like here, so that there's plenty of space before you get to that line. Okay, watch, see. Do you see all the little flyaways? It's insane. Well, I finished with the pants and this is all of the threads from trimming and pulling out the threads to make it fray more and the floss. And like, this is so much, and this is only from the last 3 ruffles. So you can imagine when you're done, there's like a lot of threads loose. Also, I found 2 pins in there. I swear I had gotten all of them out and I keep finding them. So hopefully I actually got all of them this time and I'm not gonna stab myself.
You guys are the worst.
I just go home and I'm so tired. And these pants are so heavy, so that was quite the like workout, but